Good morning, Cornerstone Bible Fellowship. Pastor Josh here with another word of encouragement for you this Monday morning. I pray you had a good weekend, that you were able to watch Pastor Phil's message yesterday, and that was an encouragement to you as well. This morning's passage comes from the book of Philippians, chapter 4. One of my favorite passages, one of my favorite books in the Bible is, it's one of Paul's most intimate letters to a church that he writes. It's a call to rejoicing, a call to trusting in God, and so I think these passages are very fitting during this time again as well. And so I'm just going to read them. Chapter 4, verse 4 through 9 is what I want to read, but I also want to start with verse 1 because it's also very fitting, as Paul says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, whom I long to see, my joy and my crown, in this way stand firm in the Lord, my beloved." And I can relate with Paul at this time as we long to be together and to see one another again. But that just isn't the case right now, and so we continue in joy nonetheless. So let's read the verses here. Chapter 4, verse 4 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your gentle spirit be known to all men. The Lord is near. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. The things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." Now, I don't know about you, but I assume, like me, that you go through times of frustration, times of just not having the best attitude, especially during these days where things are different than normal. It's easy to get down on things, down on the whatever it is, the government, the mandates, what we're being told to do. But as the passage says, it's a call to dwelling on the right things, to have an eternal perspective. And when we really put things into perspective eternally, we have to rejoice. And that's what Paul says over and over in this book, is to rejoice in the Lord. And so I love the beginning part where he calls us to lay our requests before the Lord, lay our anxieties before Him, and that peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard our hearts. And then when our minds are clear from all of those anxieties and worries, then we're able to think on the reality of what is pure and holy and just. And what is that? That, of course, is God, who is pure and holy and just. And so we think on Him, and we have that, again, that peace that he finishes, "The peace of God be with you." And that is my prayer for you all this morning, that peace of God would be with you. I found another thing that I want to read just a little bit of. It's sort of a poem, I guess, but it's talking about these times, and it says that we've all been exposed, not necessarily to the virus, we've all been exposed by the virus. It says, "Corona is exposing us, exposing our weak sides, our dark sides, exposing what normally lies far beneath the surface of our souls, hidden in the invisible masks we wear, now exposed by the paper masks we can't hide far enough behind. Corona is exposing our addiction to comfort, our obsession with control, our compulsion to hoard, our protection of self." It goes on to say, "Corona is exposing the gods we worship, our health, our hurry, our sense of security, our favorite lies, our secret lusts, our misplaced trust." And it goes on farther beyond that, but I thought that was pretty good as you think through just the things that are being exposed in our lives. And I would encourage you not to waste this time, but to really use it to examine yourself and to see, take a step back and see what God is showing you, what things that you are putting your trust in besides Him, and then give those things to God. Get your eternal perspective right again, and get rid of all of those fears and anxieties and trust in Him to be the one that's in control, because we don't have to be, as that said. There's a message that I heard years ago that has always stuck with me, and it's an acrostic for the word alive, and it's always living in view of eternity. And I love that, and I think we need to always take time to step back and think about what is the true eternal perspective. In reality, a lot of this won't matter down the road, but the reality of who Jesus is and what He's done for us, for our salvation, has huge implications, and so eternity is what we always need to be thinking on. So think on what is true, what is pure, what is holy today, and rejoice in the Lord always. Thanks. Have a good day.